I'm just going to write something down on the board real fast. That doesn't work. These are 4 of the main steps to applying to grad school. Actually, I forgot the most important one. Of course, the reason I put this one first isn't because it's the first step, but because it kinda does this a lot throughout the process. Now, I'm the type of person where when I get a little stressed out, I tend to use humor as a release. So while I may be joking the entire time about this, I'm actually slowly dying inside. I decided my junior year that I wanted to attend grad school and get my PsyD, which is a more clinical version of a PhD for psychology majors. And so I looked into applying. And the first step was, where was I going to go? This was nowhere near as easy as trying to find a school for the bachelor's degree, which obviously you all had problems with because you came here instead of a real school. So I went on the internet and I looked up PsyD schools. And I got all these schools I'd never heard of before. Little tiny schools in Alaska and online schools, and it was horrible. So I couldn't even get the first step. And because of that, I couldn't go ask my psychology advisors because their first thing would be, where do you want to go to school? See about that. So eventually, after a lot of work, I managed to find a halfway decent list. Still hadn't heard of any of the schools, but I'm like, Denver, cool. Alaska, why not? And then we moved to the fun next part, applying. Now, it should be an ibedium, I believe that's how you say it, of name, transcript, why do you want to go here, apply. But it's so, so much worse. My current dream school, Baylor in Texas, they want you to put in all of the experiments you've ever done, any clinical work you've currently done. Thankfully, the psychology program here is amazing, so they forced me to do internships and clinical work and experiments, so I'm ahead of the game. But for normal people, their heads would just explode because that's terrifying. It's just pages upon pages of it. And then the GRE. The original school I was planning on going to, my dream school first, didn't require GRE. So I'm like, all right, awesome. That school fell through, and now all the other schools I went to apply to require a GRE. And not only is it super expensive, it also takes about 12 weeks to get your results. So if you are planning on going to grad school, take that stuff your junior year. Otherwise, you will be in serious trouble. And as most of you know, college is incredibly expensive. You have to go in debt before you can get a job, start making money. Well, applying to grad school isn't cheap either. They want application fees for applying to their schools. And the GRE costs about $200. So you're getting into debt before you go into even more debt. It is so much fun. I can't even begin to explain it. And I haven't hit this step yet because I am apparently very, very, very far behind the game. But waiting. That is the worst part, I imagine. Because after you put in $100, $200, $300 and a lot of your blood, sweat, and tears, you could get back 5 or 6, nah, no thank you. We don't think you're right for our program. Because unlike your undergrad that takes 1,000 to 10,000 undergrads, grad schools will generally get anywhere from 100 to 500 applications. They take about six candidates. So you want to talk about a very, very small percentage of getting in? Apply to grad school. It'll be a lot of fun. But why am I doing this? Other than I'm apparently a huge masochist? with a bachelor's degree in psychology, you really can't do anything. You're kind of just getting a piece of paper saying, I wasted about $80,000. So I want to go into the Air Force, as I've said in a couple of my other speeches, because I want to be a counselor for service members with PTSD. There are two main continuing education degrees for psychology, the PhD and the PsyD. The PhD is more for researchers and professors and involves a lot of math. Nah, I'm a psych major, I don't do math. So I had only just recently heard about the PsyD, which is essentially practicing, counseling, learning how to be a good therapist. So, as much as I sit there and cry and give up a lot, as my roommate can attest, it's great. I've turned my entire desk around, and I've just turned it into a giant whiteboard with just schools and things and all this stuff I have to do. You reap what you sow. You get out what you put in. And I'm going to put every little ounce of blood, sweat, and tears I have to make sure I get what I want in the end. Thank you.